Hey everybody, it's Wednesday. This is Viking Stew. You're on Hammer Away right now, and as you can see, we got another open chat day. I'm enjoying these right now. There's a lot happening, so it's really good to have these kind of days because we can just chat about music and stuff. And we've got a lot happening. Let's get this thing off of here and we can chat a skosh because we got things happening. We got boxes in here. We got packages there. We've got snacks over here. I got books over here. And I've got a drink right here, which is, it's not alcohol today, but I could have done that, I suppose, but I didn't. It's just iced coffee to go with the snacks because it's my favorite time of year. I love the fall, and I know that I'm not alone. There's tons of people out there that love the fall. And I'm always glad to talk about that because it's the best. Well, it's when my birthday is, so that's pretty cool. But besides that, it's just nice and chill. It's good Viking weather for relaxing. This, even though I did it in the summertime, this is the time for a hammock. If there's ever a time of the year for a hammock, it's this one. Even though right now the mosquitoes seem to be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but nothing too major. Real quick, let's catch up on our chat because there's a lot, because my buddy Lance is in here. Support the Hammer Away channel by tapping the like button and subscribe. We want those numbers to go up. Yeah, I know it takes time, and I'm not impatient. It'll happen when it happens. Everything happens for a reason, and everything happens when it should. Now, I have a story about that, but hold on. We got to get more from Lance. Lance, first of all, says, hello, everybody, and then we got the facts. Fox Broadcasting Company launched on this date in 86. A lot of things happened in 86 while I was working on the radio. Should we put this down here just a little bit? Because you got to see it is Rocktober, so I'm wearing my Burning Witches shirt. Look at that. That's fantastic. I am really going to start working hard on getting them on the show. I've been kind of chatting at them on Facebook and stuff, so I'm trying to see. They're busy with touring and stuff like that, but hopefully I can get them in here. And then in December, they have a huge show over in Germany, and they're going to be doing that. And I'm hoping that we can do a report from that venue from that day. So hopefully we can get a on the road show with those ladies. So, because I would love to do that. They're so good. I'm listening to them right now. Because why? It's Rocktober. So there you go. Early hits for the network included 21 Jump Street, Married with Children, The Simpsons, Tracy Ullman Show, which is where The Simpsons started, and America's Most Wanted. Wow. Now, Donkey Kong Classics, an NES compilation cartridge featuring the arcade games Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., we'll probably be talking about that tonight, was released on this date in 1988. I got a story of 1988. So there was a new person. She no longer works at the school, but when she was new, the new PE teacher, she and I were walking down the hallway, just making small talk as we went to PE class outside. And I said, so have you always lived here in St. Louis? She's like, yeah. And she goes, how about you? I go, no, I moved here when I got married in 88. She goes, oh, I was born in 88. I'm like, just keep walking. That's so adorable. Look at this. Right in between there, Fox, Donkey Kong, and right there in the middle, Princess Bride. I have that book, and I'm looking forward to reading it. That's one of those books that I've collected, but I've not read it yet. I didn't collect it a long time ago, though. I haven't had it that long. It's just I'd like to read it. So in 1987, released. Super Mario Brothers 2, the video game, was released on this day in 89. Look at that. Fox, Princess Bride, Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong Classics, and then Super Mario Brothers 2. Wow, that's cool. A happy 76th birthday to Jackson Brown. Look at this. I bought a couple of extra copies of that. One I'm going to take over to my friend's house for that situation. There you go, the Holdout album. You guys remember me showing you this one. And It's a great record. We got 2 songs on that album that we're going to be playing in my band eventually. One of them is Boulevard. If you've never heard that one, it's a great little rockin' tune. What's kind of interesting um, is that it's something about songs with Boulevard in it. We'll have to talk about that sometime. Maybe I'll do some. Well, I say maybe. Of course, I'll do some research and figure some of those out. If you think of any, let me know. Um, because that's a great song. Also, oh, I'm sorry. Well, there's Boulevard Lights, which is a great Chuck Francoeur tune. I was thinking of another song, but that's not right. Um, there's I was thinking of Closer to the Borderline is what I was thinking with Billy Joel. So yeah, 76. He's a little older than me. 92 Reservoir Dogs premiered. What do you know about that? And it's John Lennon's birthday today. Thank you, Lance. And Scott Bakula, who actually went to high school here in St. Louis, his 70th birthday. Autumn does kick ass, Salvatore. Thank you. Speaking of which, do yourself a favor and pull it up on YouTube. Pick up Forever Autumn. Check it out. It's a track that was done by Justin Hayward for the kind of the rock opera. I call it a rock opera. It's not really truly an opera. A lot of it's music. It's Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. So it's not truly an opera because of the fact that they don't sing everything. There's narration and all kinds of stuff. Bakula. I wonder if they ever called him Dracula. What's up, Drew? So yeah, I knew a guy. I think I mentioned this recently. He passed away about a year ago. A friend of mine, and he went to school. He was in the same class with Scott Bakula's brother. Fall is feeling good today. It is. It is feeling very good here today. I took care of some stuff this morning, and then I started watching something, which I'm going to get into that in a minute. You guys already probably know what it is. Lots of love going around here. Thank you. Yeah. It is. I was just like, man, this is a great. I mean, look at that. I love the artwork on this record. I'd love to get it on vinyl. If I find the right price somewhere sometime, I might get it. It's just very expensive. I'm not in love with that. Yeah, it was and is awesome. I have 2 copies on vinyl. I've got 2 copies on CD. The difference is my 2 copies on vinyl are the same. One of them is sealed. I think I just mentioned this not long ago. And if you've never heard, here, should we get it? Let's go ahead and grab it. It's over there now, though. All right, so we have to go over here, which moves me past something. I am going to have a little bit of a moment here. I did get some sad news recently, and I want to make that into a moment of honor for someone that a friend of mine that we lost. So I'll tell you about that in a minute, and I want to just kind of honor him with something that we're going to talk about here. Wayne, there's the Who. There's Walsh. There's Wayne right there. All right, let's get these out, and I'll show it to you so that way you know. And then I can probably I'll look up a link and I'll send it to you. But here you go. This was $15. Is that right? I thought it was 20, but 15. Zoinks. All right. It was $15. There you go. War of the Worlds. It's a gatefold. Let's take it out and show you the gatefold. Why? Why not? It's kind of rude if I don't, right? And Drew, I don't want to be rude, right? That would be rude, and Drew would call me on it. I would expect that. Just because Drew knows me so well, right? All right, here we go. There's your gatefold. How gorgeous is that? Again, if you've never heard this record, do it. Have some fun. Listen to the Orson Welles radio program and then listen to this. It's great because of the people that are on it. It's got Richard Burton, who does the narration. Julie Covington, David Essex, rock on. Justin Hayward from Moody Blues. You got Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, Joe Partridge, and Chris Thompson. So it's even got the booklet in here. So here are your players. Isn't this great? I love it. There you go. This is in really good condition. I was glad to get this used. Now, I kind of bought this, and then here are your guests. Whoop, Justin Hayward right there in the middle. Richard Burton all the way over on this side. All right. And there's Phil Lynott right below Justin there. All right. So there you go. But I also have, so then I have this one. We took a bicycle ride when we went over to the Netherlands years ago. If you've never been to the Netherlands and you want a great, cool, peaceful place to go and hang out below sea level, go over to the Netherlands. It's awesome. It's just right across the way from the UK. Ooh, there's my Dr. Seuss moment for the day. Then what I did was I went to Velvet Music. What is it called? Velvet Music in Delft. And I found this one, this copy. It's brand new. It's still sealed. And I found it for €25 over there. It was a great price. I'll tell you what, one of these days, I'm going to just pop over to the UK just to buy some vinyl. The prices aren't, there's some places over there where the prices are not crazy. Not like they are here. So do check that out. It's such a great record. And I'm very blessed to have found out about it when I did. So I've been listening to it and been knowledgeable of it for, I don't know, close to 20 years now. But it, at my age though, 20 years, that, knowing it that long, I could have known it since its inception and I just didn't. They didn't play it in my demographic and it's just the way it was. But Forever Autumn is a Keishi classic. And I'm sure they've already played it on Keishi this season, but beautiful song. I mean, it's just listening to it and knowing what's going on in the story. It's kind of a lament of missing his wife. And the lyrics are beautiful. The music is beautiful. And it builds and swells, and it's just such a beautiful song. So before I start crying, but no, seriously though, I mean, I can get a little emotional about that song. It's so good. Now, what you do need to know about too, before we go any further, is snacks. So today I'm sporting my bowl, my Chewbacca bowl that my friend got me. See, there you go, Star Wars. So it's a great little snack bowl. But at Sam's, they have a big box of Count Chocula that you can get. And so I had some Rice Krispies at home, and I bought some marshmallows yesterday, and came home and made, look at that. Ooh, there's a little bit dangling there because I put some in this bowl just to chew on. So there's some in there. And there's cookies. Look at the cookies. So this is my Rice Krispie treat with the Count Chocula. I love doing that. I love mixing the cereals. And then at Trader Joe's, they have these chocolate pumpkin cookies. Yay. So those go along really well with my iced coffee. Now, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens when it should. Whoops. Before I go any further than that, I just showed you that Jeff Wayne album, and I wanted to show you guys this. I'm going to see if I can get these printed and made. I need to find out where they make these, how they make them, and then I need to get hammer away ones done so that I can start getting them to you guys. So take a look at this. All right. So it's a little thing. There you go. And what is that? It's a cassette, right? Looks like a cassette. But what is this? Is it a little pouch? No. This is what it folds down to. And this came from Velvet, as you can see right there. That came from the record store. I was like, dude, I gotta have one of those bags. So look at this. It's a record bag. And it just folds down into that. cassette. I thought, how cool. Now, it also hangs there. If you buy a cassette, you can put a cassette in there, right? But here you go. It's their bag for the record store. And it's got handles as well. See, it says support your local record store. So how cool is that? All the way from the Netherlands. But I couldn't believe it. We rode our bikes to Delft because that's what you do. It's small enough, and you know, and that's what they do there. They have to have less. They use the bikes to get around because they need to do less pollution because they're below sea level. It's science. Okay. So that was pretty cool. I was so glad I found that. It was missing. Not really missing. It was misplaced. It's like when people say, I lost it. Well, did you lose it or did you misplace it? Because there's a difference. I want to make sure I keep up with these real quick. Let me see here. War of the Worlds album, yes, see, was awesome. Still is awesome. The other copies that I have on CD is the original on CD, just like the record I have there. But the other one is the updated version, which don't be afraid of it. If you want to check it out, it instead of Richard Burton, it's got Liam Neeson, and then it's got other people, and it's very good. It's a little updated. Jeff, it's kind of like Star Wars. It's like when Lucas put the extra stuff in. So that's what it's like. Probably maybe not as dramatic, but maybe he played this part a little differently or that, you know, instrumentally, you know, not in music, but instrumentally. But it's very good. I bought it. I was concerned, but I was like, well, I love this damn thing and I'm going to just buy whatever else I can. I was playing a cool video game last night. It's called ROCKIT. I was, you know, every time I turn it on, Salvatore, I think of you guys because I want to be playing again. It's just I got to get this thing figured out with what's it, with OBS. And Jeff was like, make sure you go through there. So I'll be back at it soon. I was playing too. Did you notice me out there? Let's figure that out. If you want to play tonight, let's play tonight. Meet me out there. Let's meet me out there at like 10 p.m. Central. How about that? Something like that. And we can just play a game. I don't have to do it live. Or we could do it live on here. Fuck it. I do love my Rocket League. Condolences for your friend. Yeah. So let's get into that. Thank you, Drew. I'm glad I popped onto that. So let's do this. All right. So many years ago, and I'll show you some photos down the line here, but I think I may have told this story before. But so if I did, let's do it this way. I'll still tell you the whole story, but let's act as if I've told you because I think I did. If you remember the story from 2004, was my first trip to the NAMM show in Nashville. All right. Up until that point, it had been a couple of different places. I went to a NAMM show up in Chicago at McCormick Place. So that's where I went there with some folks who were doing a local printed media about music here. And this was, 1990, because I remember Joe Satriani was on tour for Flying in a Blue Dream. And I took some photos of that and helped with the page layout. And it was a publication called Just Rock. And Babu Barrett, I don't know where he is these days. He may still live in the area. I don't know. Maybe somewhere else. So he was kind of at the forefront of it. And so I was doing that. So anyway, how does that come into play? Yes. So McCormick Place. So I went to there and I did that. But then when I started working for St. Louis Music, it was in Anaheim, which still true, and in Nashville. Now they did take it to Austin one year, but now I think they've gone back to just Nashville and Anaheim. So anyway, so that was the thing. And so I'm down there in Nashville and I'm sitting on a park bench waiting by the EMG booth which are pickups, and I'll show you those in just a second. So it's a booth where they were having their pickups and stuff, and Victor Wooten was at that booth with an Ampeg amp Probably it was one of our sugar. Come on. Portabase. That was a Portabase system that he had because it was smaller and much lighter. I own some of that now. I have a rolling cabinet and then also another cabinet that are very light and easy to move around, but I have to put a new speaker in it. Nonetheless, I'm on a park bench in the middle of this building waiting for Victor to finish up so I can roll the unit back to our booth. And then here comes, as I'm sitting there, this gentleman, Steve Rivers, who was from Arizona. I don't know if he's still there, but he would send these CDs. This is why I told you, I think I told you about this. He would send the CDs of prog metal bands. And Jay would get them, and then he'd give them to us because he really wasn't into it. But I got into Iced Earth that way. So here come these two gentlemen, one guy in a polo and khaki pants, and the other guy in just a rock and roller, right? Tattoos, Iced Earth t-shirt, long hair in a ponytail, I think it was. And so they come walking up, and I saw him. I go, "Hey, nice shirt," you know. And the gentleman in khakis says, "Oh, are you an Iced Earth fan?" I said, "Yeah, actually, I'm a new fan." And of course, this was back in 2004. So I said, "Yeah, I mean, I just got to be a fan. Somebody had sent some music." So he goes, "Well, this is Jimmy McDonough from Iced Earth." And I'm like, "Oh, rock on, dude, cool." So we talked. He did a little quick video for me to show my friend back home, saying hi to him. And then we're looking forward to talking to him in the future. Then he would end up being in Megadeth. So, but I got to talking to this gentleman, and I found out the gentleman in khakis was there with another company, but he was also a luthier, and so he did painting on guitars too and everything like that. So he was showing me a picture of showed me later of one he did, which is good for this month. He had done some Exorcist artwork on it. So it was kind of cool. Then I told him, I said, "Well, I've got a bass that I got that is purple on the front, beautiful, quilted purple on the front, and on the back, it's like poop brown." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's disturbingly bad on the back." So it just looks like an ogre just came up, grabbed my bass, and wiped his ass with it. So I said, I'd love to have it painted, custom painted. And he goes, "Oh, what do you want on it?" And I said, "Well, what do you do?" And he goes, "I can do anything." I said, "Don't tell me that, because I will ask for anything." So, uh, so he's like, "Yeah, no, I'll do it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "How much?" And he goes, "Nah, I'll just do it for you." I'm like, "What?" So I got him the guitar, and here it is. So this was my, let's see, what was it? My second guitar, my second bass guitar, 5-string, as you can see. I've recently gotten her back out again. Now, he did this on the front for me, which is just a ray of light through dark clouds, which was cool. However, on the front, I'm going to change this. I am going to change this, not out of, I mean, no disrespect. It's just, I have this new design, and I'll show it to you. This is my new design, which kind of goes along with a moniker that I've had and a company name that I had called Bass Dog. It kind of goes along with that. So there you go. I want to put this image on the front now, and put that in here. I started, you can see I kind of squiggled on here, and that's me doing the drawing up my dog on there over the top. So just trying to get it. But then I had him do some different characters that I enjoyed over the years through my childhood. And so, and some of it was stuff that there's one character on here that is something that my friend helped me do. And it's like supposed to be me, but oddly enough, this one has a bit of a mullet. So if I could ever redo this hair, I might do that sometime. And then there's one here that I worked on, something that I did at work. So here you go. Classic characters. You got Space Ghost. You've got Johnny Quest group right there without his dad. Then you have what I was calling Ampeg Man at the time. which is supposed to be me, but he's got kind of a mullet. Of course, Spider-Man, Wolverine. There you go. And then we have Frankenstein Jr. and Buzz right there on his back. Rocketeer. I love Rocketeer. And Scooby-Doo, of course, and Shaggy. And then this is Captain Choco. This is a rendition of Captain Choco that I drew. So if you go out on Facebook, you can find Captain Choco out there. There is an actual page. So then he did the headstock as well. And it says he was nice enough to put that on there. Art concept by Stuart Johnson. And you can see it says 04 right there. There you go. I know it's hard to read sometimes, this camera. And then it says here that I'm trying to think. Oh, there it is. All right, I'm sorry. Just there you go. Artwork. There you go. By Rick Stewart. Artwork and paint by Rick Stewart. So then so he and I kept in touch. He did that for me, and then I designed a bass, and I just showed you this recently. And this was before I reached out and found out that he had passed in 2021. So I guess he had gotten ill in 2018, and then he passed in 21. So so to Rick, a big, good on you, man. He did a lot of cool things, man. He is a great guitar player. He's a real shredder. And he had written lots of songs too. He had original music, and just a super cool dude, man. I'm gonna try to get a hold of Michael Sweet as well, because he actually built a guitar that Michael Sweet from Stryper played for a while, and then he said it was too heavy for him, because these are heavy. This is heavy. So here you go. There's the guitar that I designed. It was based on an SG. So, and I love flame design. So I designed this flame bass, and I wanted it to be black, but then leaving a cross open with, I had this idea to have the wood grain show through. So this is a spalted ash body. So she's really heavy. This was going to be a carbon fiber neck, but carbon fiber was hard to find when he was building this. There was a big shortage. Evidently, a lot of people were having sails built out of carbon fiber because they wouldn't tear. So at that time there was a shortage. So he said it's going to take a little bit of time. I said I can wait. It's no big deal. So he built this neck anyway for me. These light up. I need to get the battery put in here so we can light these up. And there's a flame design that I did based on Jean Grey Phoenix. And so it's kind of an outline of her body as a flame. So from John Burns artwork. I don't know. Let me see if I can get this up close and see if you can see that. So there's the flame, and it's based on Jean Grey, the Phoenix. So he put those all the way down here, and inset here is the bass dog head right in there. In the 3rd fret, yeah. So it was really cool. He had a CNC stuff that he had access to, and it was great. And then the back has a cool JC. This was kind of a Christian build here, and so I got him this, and this is metal. That's actually metal. And then a nice wood grain on the back. She's beautiful. She's heavy. The only thing that threw me, I didn't realize it about an SG, that you notice how close these are, right? These horns, right? So the difference, you'll notice the difference between these two. And you can think about this if you ever think about playing a guitar and what kind of guitar you're going to play. You'll notice how far this side comes up as opposed to this side. Okay, do you see the difference? With this silly strap in the way, you can't really see it. See if I can get rid of that. Oh, sorry about that. Come on. Yeah, no, it's tough. Anyway, let's see if I can do this. Drop it out of the way. Blah, blah, blah. This is like a Houdini act. Ugh, there. All right. There you go. Okay, so you see the difference between how high this horn goes from this dip and the difference here. So what this means is that this one is going to overhang here, and you see how much higher up it is on the neck as opposed to this one. So that means that this one hangs further over, and you're reaching further for the end of the neck on this, right? This one, not so much. It's centered, more centered, but that's the difference between these. It's not as centered. So on a guitar, it's probably not so bad on an SG style, and they even make the basses that are the SG bass, you know, the body style. But what I'd really love to do is I've had this idea for a while, is come up with a metal piece. Oh, nice, metal. So come up with a metal piece that'll that I can put on the back of this, maybe even cut away some of this, the height of this, and then drill in, mount glue and drill in a metal piece that'll come out to about here. That'll allow this to hang a little bit further into the center here. Maybe if I hold it like this, you'll understand too what I'm talking about. So instead of it hanging over here, you know, over here, because it's centered here on my neck and here on the body, and then I got to reach all the way down here, or I have to play it sideways, you know. But if I had this metal piece, which would elongate it to here, then it would bring the center more to here, and then I'm here. So I hope that helps. So anyway, Rick built this for me. Here is the Vengeance logo on the end here at the neck, there on the headstock. And I'm so sorry. I'll take some pictures and put them out there on Facebook. So he had Vengeance guitars for years. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date on that. So, but again, Drew, thank you so much. And I know there's probably more sentiments here I'll get to. So I'm ready for you to show the old, I know it. See, thank you for backing me up on that. You're right. You're right, Pete, because there are times that all of us, maybe we have a little stomach problem, and we would use a Kylo Ren bowl to just throw up in. You're right. But seeing the Kylo Ren bowl just might make me throw up. You know, you just use his helmet. I mean, it's a probably better use that I have it and throw up in it as a bowl than it is for him to knock holes in the station and messing up the elevator system. I mean, wouldn't that suck? You're on the ship with Kylo Ren and he's bashing the elevator and he just walks out. He doesn't care. And then you have your maintenance and you have to go in the elevator and go, what the hell? You're like, dude, just go throw up in your helmet. Settle down. Right, Pete? Go right back to Saturday Night Live. You put your weed in there. Oh, my God. Count Chocula Rice Krispies with cookies. You got it, Drew. I'm all over it. Doesn't go well for here, but, you know. Oh, man. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, he was a super cool dude. And I'm in conference with his wife right now and seeing how she's doing, because she's out in you want me to put on top of that, she still lives, they live in Asheville. So yeah, it's been a blessing though. She says there's so much devastation out there in Asheville, and fortunately her property is okay. Everything's fine, which thank God, because that's really not an added something you need. It's been so long since I typed that I've gone to Walmart, bought you one. Just cleared customs. And you might as well use another word that uses that clear word. It was probably in their clearance area, I would imagine. Or either that, or maybe you got it because you made a profit. Maybe they paid you to take it. Excuse me, sir. I didn't know if you'd be interested. We are actually paying people to take these Kylo Ren bowls, if you wouldn't mind. We'll give you $5 and you can throw up in it. Yeah, me too. Me too. And she's working on some she says they were working on an album together. So I said, whatever I can do. I can do some graphics, I can do some vocals, things like that. So Papa Pete is using the force to deliver. That's the worst part is you get the thing on clearance or they pay you to take it and then you have to still pay for shipping. So yeah, so everything happens for a reason. Everything happens when it should. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? It's time to take a bite. Because I know one of our Go regulars loves when I do this. Yes, Jeff's wife. She loves when I chew things on the show. So that's for her. Anyway, so I took a day off today and I got rid of a bunch of junk from our remodel. Now I can clear up the garage where Levon counts the money. Does he do that in the garage? What does he do? Levon counts his money. Or is that where he does the, I don't know, spends his days counting in the garage by the motorway. Yeah. All right. So there, Levon counts his money. So anyway, that way I can make room for these cabinets. When the cabinets show up, I got a place to put them in the garage. So today I took the day off and everything happens for a reason. Everything happens when it should. So I hear a truck out front and ding dong. Okay. Well, I'll just go to the door. I'm sure they left a package there and I'll just grab the package. Nope. Still somebody standing there. Okay. So I start chatting with this gentleman who has the package. He's like, it seems like there was an issue. It got, so anyway, sorry for the delay. I'm like, that's cool. And when he start talking just a little bit, and then I find out that his dad started KC 95. So we chat for just a second. He goes, I got something for you. So he hands me this. And he says, don't take the back off. I said, I won't. I got a bunch downstairs here that I've never taken the back off. So like I've got a Ozzy Osbourne one from Osmosis. And so they photoshopped a pig's head on it. So anyway, I have like a red one that's like this. I don't know if I have one with this. This is like the classic logo, right? So then he signed it for me, and it says "Keep rocking, Michael, son of Shelley." There you go. So Shelley was the one of the owners and one of the creators of KC 95, Shelley Grafman, and so I talked to him for a couple of minutes. I'm going to have him on the show, and we'll be chatting. That was a little sad too. That was a bit of a sad story on that too, because I guess they really screwed him over. They sold it out from underneath him, and I don't know the rest of the story. That's really all I know, but that sucks. Coffee. Iced coffee is really good. I don't know who likes iced coffee out there. Anybody like it? Sometimes when I have leftover coffee, I just put ice in it, and it's really nice. My son loves iced coffee. So, all right, and I'll move on before this turns into a squirrel moment. Let's see. And don't distract me, Drew. I'm focusing. Is it almost here? JW, what is up? Bruce Foster, who was on Kiss 1974, was an unofficial member, supplied second layer of guitar tracks plus piano. See, I like that. Piano. What did his makeup look like? Was he ever seen on stage? I don't know. I know that later on, they had like the hawk persona or that kind of thing that they were talking about doing. And yeah, Bruce Foster. All right. Back then, there's also one of the producers of Dust, the band Dust, produced Kiss in those early days. So check that out. If you've never heard of Dust, check out their 2 albums, Dust and then Heart Attack. I'd almost suggest checking out Heart Attack first, but check out the first record first. It's got From a Dry Camel on it, and it's great stuff. Kenny Aronson is on there playing bass, and it's really cool stuff. So anyway, now what I want to do is bring this up. So I guess, oh, you know what? Since she's local, there's a headline out there today that Jenna Fisher had breast cancer, and now it says she's cancer free. So yay, that's awesome. This was from yesterday, but yeah, we don't have to go any further into that. But just yay, that's awesome. But what I want to do is check in on this. So Stuart Corden from Blitz was going to be with me today, but he's not feeling well. So I told him that's not a problem. We'll just do the show, and it'll be cool. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do this. This is our countdown to Halloween. Ooh. So that's what I wrote in my description, countdown to Halloween. So that's why I'm listening to Burning Witches. Not like I'm like, I gotta listen to Burning Witches. I'm just saying, I kind of got to listen to Burning Witches. It's just so good. If you've not gotten into it in deep dive, I know I talk about it all the time, but until I get a crap ton of people on here telling me to shut the hell up about it, I'm going to talk about it because it doesn't seem like enough people know about it yet. So, like I say, I'm hoping to have an interview with them soon and to do a report from their show in December. Let's see. You rejoined with a membership on my channel. Thank you. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. So Phantasm, have you seen it? Do you know of it? Did you know, if you were into the first movie, did you know they made 4 more? There's a total of 5 movies out there of Phantasm. So the first one came out in 1979. I went and saw it. I was 15 years old. I got in because I looked a little older. And it was the first movie that had a bare woman's chest that I saw. So it was like, whoa. So anyway, 15 years old. What can I say? It's just nature. It's science. So, yeah, but I was like, oh my God, it's rated R. I'm going to go in. Here we go. I was supposed to meet friends there and they never showed up. Bunch of pussies. Anyway, so they never showed up. So I just went in myself. I'm like, the hell with it, as Jerry Seinfeld would say. So there you go, Lounge Dweller. Hi, welcome. Yes. And so I like your phrase. Okay. Lounge Dweller says, and you can read it, but just in case you can't, the original Phantasm is great. So when I saw it, I was like, whoa, this is really wild and weird. And oh, there's a partial naked woman. But it was, I thought, yeah, cool. But I never bought it. But it stuck with me. It was one of those. So here I'm thinking Phantasm. Okay. So I found it. It was a good price. I bought it. And then I watched it and I'm like, wow, what is this? And I'm like, it was a little slow. It was kind of like Peanuts. Okay. Hang on. I'll get there. So, you know how Peanuts is, right? Especially if you watch the early ones and you're into those, you don't notice it so much. They were a little better. They were made a little better. But when you rewatch them after you see some of the other ones that they made, then you're like, oh, yeah, that is kind of what Charlie Brown's show is. It's kind of segments. So it's like, oh, here was this 3-panel cartoon from that Sunday plugged in here. That one kind of fits that same style. put that in. And so it was like these little segments just put together, right? Little boxes put in a row. So then, so here's this horror movie. And it opens on a large funeral home, is what it's supposed to be, on this sprawling land, right? I guess it's kind of a rural town, right? They don't explain any of this, right? You're just supposed to know. So I lived in a rural town, so it was fine, right? So so here I am, 1979. I go in and I'm like, ooh, wow. Oh, yikes. Okay, so scary. Ooh, that's wicked weird, you know, with female anatomy. And so then I watch it, and looking back now, this is 2 years after Star Wars, right? And 1 year before the next Star Wars. So so what's in it? I better see here. I got to find out if anybody is saying anything. All the cool people are members of Papa Piawe. Couldn't resist. Oh, that's very nice. The original Phantasm is great. The sequels are mostly worthless. All right. So here's the thing, Lounge Dweller. I'm going to be watching them all. And I'm going to be doing a review thing with Stuart Corden from Blitz over in the UK. We're going to do one this weekend. So keep your eyes open. I'll post it early once I know when he and I are going to do it. I'll post it plenty early to know when it's going to happen. All right. So we're just going to go through them because I've never seen any of the others. I've only seen the first one. And the first one is questionable because of the fact that it is just little scenes put together. You're like, okay, what's happening? Okay. Oh, that's happening. Okay. Nope. What is this? Where are we? Okay. And what's freaking hilarious. Okay. I don't know. I really shouldn't cover much of this right now. I should wait. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. Here is, I just want to show you some of the artwork that was done around that time for this thing. It was really, it's an interesting premise, and it's okay. But when you're thinking about watching it, keep your mind on Evil Dead. Okay? Keep your mind on Evil Dead. Keep your mind on Lost Boys. The quality isn't quite there as Lost Boys, okay? So just bear that in mind. But think of Lost Boys. Think of what's the other one? I'm trying. Fright Night. Anything like that where it's kind of comedic. Creep Show. You know, that's what it's like. Don't think you're going to go in and see those movies were better made and better directed. Okay, this movie was directed by let me see if I can figure this out. Don Coscarelli. Now, and also written by Don Coscarelli, or Coscarelli. I don't know how you say that. But it's got Michael Baldwin, Bill Thornbury, and Reggie Bannister. And it's an hour and 29 minutes. So don't worry about checking it out. Check it out. It's $1.50. It's not going to kill you, you know. And it does get creepy and, you know, scary, but okay, Don Coscarelli. All right, he's got a book, it looks like, called True Indie. So it was an independent film, I guess. So, and he is 70 years old. So, let me see here. Wait, did he? Oh, he also did. That same director did Bubba Hotep. So there you go, the deep dive. So, so there you are. But there's a whole article that explains everything here about the movie. There's two guys that have a thing called the Horror Guys. It's horrorguys.com, and they go through this movie. And so, yeah, it's just kind of interesting how it puts together. And there's a part right in the middle that I didn't remember. I mean, I remembered it when I saw it, but I didn't remember it happening the way it did. Like, there's two brothers that are part of this movie. And at one point, the younger brother is in deep shit, and the older brother's just at home, sitting in a chair, just thinking. And I'm like, what are you doing? Your brother's about to die. And you're just going, "Hmm." So I didn't, these and other notes will come later, but trust me, it'll be probably similar to that fated day for when me and Pete get together and watch that Star Wars shit. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, great is what it is. Now, here's my thing, too. Is it going to be tough for people who haven't seen it to get into it at all and have fun with it, or is it going to be that thing where you're like, oh my god, really? So just think about it that way. So anyway, things are happening in this mortuary, and you're like, ooh, this is horror. Well, the one thing that keeps coming up is this new weapon of death, I'll call it, because that's the intellectual name for it. New weapon of death. Here you go. So here's the poster, one of the posters, the artwork. This is the artwork that's on that's out there for streaming. This is the artwork that might be the new artwork for the cover. But you see these balls in the background, right? There's with blades in them. And there's if you notice the one on off of his right shoulder, there's a drill piece that comes out. So those two forks go into the temples of your head, and then the drill piece comes out and drills right into your sinus cavity, right above your nose, and it's so adorable. I would assume that's adorable. I don't, to some horror people who have checked out so many horror films, they might go, "That is adorable." So anyway, um, but there's a whole synopsis of the whole movie on that, uh, and this is what I need to read because this is like the shorthand. That's what I need. These are the cliff notes. That's why I need to read this. So there's mausoleum stuff, and I'm trying to remember who the one guy was. There's an actor that plays in there, but their bottom commentary says the soundtrack is awesome. It's Halloween meets The Exorcist. Halfway through the film, I set it up as my new ringtone. There are a couple of shots of phone booths, but otherwise it holds up really well. The most iconic scene from the film is obviously the first time we see the sphere. But the fingers are cool as the glimpse of the other world at the end. I'm sorry, but the fingers are cool as is the glimpse. Wow, that's really not well written. The glimpse of the other world at the end. All right, so Angus Scrimm plays the tall man. Was probably cast due to his resemblance to Christopher Lee. But of course, but over the course of a few sequels, he became iconic all on his own. So iconic that you can go out there and order a tall man Funko Pop if you want. I saw it at my friend's comic shop. It's got a lot of drama with Mike recovering from the loss of his parents and fear of losing Jody. But the real winner here is the mystery behind all of this. Who is the tall man? Why is he doing this? What's up with the spheres and the dwarves? Are they dwarves? Are they dwarves, Lounge Dweller, or are they, I mentioned Star Wars a minute ago, or are they Jawas? That's what's so weird. Let me see, where are we? Drew says, the original Evil Dead is one of my faves. I'll sure check this one out. Please do. Absolutely. Have fun. It's get the popcorn, do whatever you got to do. Get a pizza, you know, that might not be a bad idea. Pizza. Spooky season needs to be longer for me to watch all the movies. Yeah. I know. That's the way I feel about it too. It's always like, oh, we didn't, because I can get a stack out. I've got a whole section over there. I can get a stack out, but then you get through a few and then time starts running out, and before you knew it, and it is when I almost said Valentine's Day. When Halloween is over, it just it's that sound from the original Star Wars. When that guy with the underbite helmet goes and they're going to blow up the planet. Yeah. So it says a lot of drama, spheres, and the dwarves. Some of the dialogue is a little clunky, you think? And Michael Baldwin, who plays Mike, not a stretch, is too young to be much of an actor. But the film still works really well. It's just very different from anything that came before it. And they didn't waste time trying to explain it all. That's true. That's true. They didn't sit there and go, sometimes in low budget films, they do. They put these little dissertations in there where you're just like, okay, shut up and move on. So that was good. You know, at $1.50, that makes it to where you go next, which is probably what you're telling me right now. Is a mile high. Tell me your favorites, Drew. What's some of your favorites? Lounge Dweller, Pete, and Lance, if you're still out there, tell me what some of your favorites are. Anybody else wants to pop in, tell me what your favorites are. Because it ranges. I mean, there's some people that probably really like horror television, and there's horror television films, right? So you could do it into subgenres. You could do horror, and you could do horror released to the movies, horror television. In fact, we're going to talk about that here in just a second. So think about that. You know what? Let's go through and let's do a package, shall we? All right. So do you guys remember me telling you about the Iron Maiden shirts? If you want these Iron Maiden shirts, they've taken the shipping off. They've made it just Prime now, but they've made them $20 instead of $13.99 with shipping, right? So I ordered some because the supply is dwindling, what they have out there. Because when I was looking, I got images of all these shirts. I went through all the shirt designs and I saved the images in a folder. But I got a couple. Since they were dwindling, I went ahead and just ordered a couple of the only other two. Because like I say, I'm not going to wear these shirts everywhere. Eddie scares people. It's not really I wore it. Yes. You want to make a statement, but you want to make a music statement. And Eddie helps you make a music statement and a statement, right? Or shall we say a statement with a musical edge? I don't know, however the hell you want to say it. I'm a writer. I should be able to come up with this. So anyway, and I love these Ziploc envelopes that they put these shirts in. So because you can reuse them. I can't seem to close. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, so these bags are great because you can reuse them because look, they have holes in them. So whatever you put in here, it's not going to be bloaty and you're not going to have to shove all the air out. So that's kind of nice. So it's not going to hold air. So anyway, I keep those nonetheless. I'm going to probably have to start throwing some away or recycling them because I'm going to have too many. So this first one is from a release that was kind of later on, and you'll recognize it. There you go. There you go. How about that? So there's the shirt. And I get them in XL just so that they're kind of comfy and cool. But look at that. It's a trooper on a horse. The Prussian guns. There you go. So that's one. Like I say, there was only a couple more that were still to be bought by me that I had to get. There was one more, and it's not available in the shirt anymore. It's only available as a hoodie, which I don't know. I might get it, but it's another $10 more. And I don't know. But what it is, it's the Legacy of the Beast artwork with the devil character coming at Eddie. And then there's other characters that are from the first comic book series of the Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast storyline. And then I just had to get this one. Now this is also, I mentioned it just a minute ago that I got that they have that one in a hoodie. And I just got this as a hoodie a while ago. I don't even know what I was saying right there. And it goes back to this one means a lot to me because this is when I met the band the second time, and it was a cover of their tour book. And there you go, from the Power Slave tour. And this is the hoodie that I have as well. And it's that my hoodie is that kind of stretchy material. It's not like a regular sweats thing. It's that slick material, and that's what these are. These are that slick material, so you can see that. So that's that kind of satiny material that kind of is a little stretchy. But look at that. Is that cool or what? I'm like, oh, I gotta have it. That's so iconic from that Power Slave tour. And I tell you what, there's nothing more, there's nothing more frustrating in a creative mind that as soon as I do that, I'm like, oh, why haven't I done this yet on this show? Um, so yeah, guys, let's go back to this thing here before I continue. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification so you know what we're doing. Like I do, like 30 minutes before I do the show. Um, but I'm looking forward to that getting to be a wider margin. But yeah, do that. And let's grow this thing together, man. I love doing this. I like talking with you guys about this stuff. It's great. Let's see what we got here. So here we go. Evil Dead, Dead Alive. Yes. Last Man on Earth. We were just talking about that. My wife and I were just talking about that because there's Last Man on Earth, Omega Man, I Am Legend, right? Is there any other iterations of that? Oh, and yeah, and I got to remember to do this too. Young Frankenstein is great. See, there you go. Original Dracula, original Suspiria. What? What is that? Ghost Ship. I was just talking to my wife about that the other day. That's a good movie. Came out around the same time as 13 Ghosts. They had that, and then thing in common. You could go on and on. I get it. But yeah, there's always the favorites. I mean, like for us, I'll pull Lost Boys. I think I just got that on Blu-ray a while back. Lost Boys. The original Halloween is great. Always fun. The original, like you say, but we have like you say Dracula. We've got the original Creature from the Black Lagoon, and we also have the Wolf Man, whatever it is. So those are some of my other favorites too. I don't know if there's the collector in me that says I want to get all of those Universal films. Now, I'll tell you who's a big Universal fan when it comes to the monsters, and I did an interview with him about this a couple of years ago, is Mike LaPond from Symphony X. He loves the old classic Universal monsters. And if you haven't seen it lately, that's another fun one. You can watch that with the family. You can watch Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. That's a fun one. And so those are great. Another great one for the family too is, and this one, Papa Pete, this is for you. And I'm serious. I am serious. When you think about the things that are inspired by other things, but you never hear about it. Like, how many people are ever going to talk about Roger Dean and Avatar? I will. He would. He'd tell you about it because he took him to court. But things that were inspired by it that were a long time ago, and you're like, holy crap. All right. So do yourself a favor. If you haven't ever seen it, or if you saw it when you were a kid and you've not seen it since, then check out Lonesome Ghosts. And it's basically Disney's version of Ghostbusters long before Ghostbusters. Because Ghostbusters was, what was that, 84? Is that what it was? 84? 1937. 1937. Suspiria is a 70s Italian horror film. Wow. Okay. 13 Ghosts. Yeah, another good one. American Werewolf in London. There you go. That one goes along with, if you want to just have some fun on a weekend and watch a slew of movies, Creep Show. Don't go to Creep Show 2. House. American Werewolf in London. Fright Night. You can watch Phantasm. So So all of those are ones that are kind of, oh, and put Suck in there too. You just, if you haven't seen Suck, gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. SUCK, Suck. It's great. Alice Cooper's in it. Oh, why can't I say his name? Well, Iggy Pop is in it. And it also has Henry Rollins is in it too. So check that out. Movie Suck. It's great. But anyway, those are films that are tongue in cheek. I mentioned Suck because it is funny. I mean, it is good, and it would fit right in that genre of shit and laughing your ass off. It was really cool. Suck it is. It's not about killer vacuums either. But it was yeah, and it doesn't suck. So I fell into it by, just because it was music centric. So so have fun with it. So if I can just tell you that. Maybe also, let me see if I can bring this up too, if I can. Whoop. Okay, let's see if what comes up. Yep, there we go. All right, I'm going to look for some images because I want to show you this. There's a few different covers for this thing. Let's see. Gosh, that's a whole other cover I don't even know about. I'm looking for the right one. Because wow, these are all, it's a lot of different stuff here. Stife. I don't know. I'm going to stop trying to talk. Here's one. All right, let me see if I can bring this in. Here's the one that I knew really well. It's a piece of artwork. Oh, there. That's what I'm looking for right there. Yeah, buddy. Okay. So there's one. Let's save that and I'll bring it in. I'm sorry, it's going to take me just a second. In the meantime, keep them coming. Let's Return of the Evil Dead. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do that. So suck one. That's terrible. And we'll save this in. Suck two. All right. Sorry about that. So such a boy moment. And there's a soundtrack. I need to find out about this. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, and here's a new cover. So maybe this is the way you're gonna find it now. Suck three. Okay. No, not two, three. All right, let me see if I can bring these in for you real quick. Does anybody really like Halloween? I just was wondering, I should ask you about that. Is this a huge season for some folks? Because it is for a lot of folks. Of course, yeah, the first one has to be fixed. I love it. I don't love it. All right, let's go down here. And boom, and here we go. And that, and that, and that. There we go. All right. Yes, that is just fantastic. Okay, thank you. All right, let's drop this in. All right, so we got three different covers here. I'm going to drop this one on first because this is, I think, one of the first covers. Here you go. So Alice Cooper, Alex Lifeson in there. I forgot that too. Moby as well. And it also stars, what can I say his name? He was in a Star Wars film. He was in something I'm going to be talking about here in a minute. Which I guess I could just look at that. He's British. Why can't I say his name? Malcolm McDowell is in it. He plays a major character. Here's the cover that I have. That's what my Blu-ray looks like. So there you go. And then here's what looks like a new one. There's a new cover there. Alex Lifeson. That's awesome. Now I got to rewatch this. But man, these guys are great. It's funny. It's totally tongue in cheek, but so well done. So well done. Um, and I hope you love it. I always hope that of things that I suggest. Um, Alice Cooper is really fun in it, so it's great. Anyway, um, so let's get into that. So there we go with some movies. If you think about more movies, let me know. Just keep bringing them on, and I'll Return of the Living Dead. So we have Return of the Evil Dead and Return of the Living Dead. I do love Halloween. Lots of creativity in people's there is. Here's one. If you have any metal cookie cutters, I just saw a DIY that has a metal. I'm sorry. Okay, we can finish it that way. Has a metal cookie cutter, and then they just place that on the pumpkin, and they take a rubber mallet and bink, 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 and they just shove it in, and it cuts out the hole from the cookie cutter. So it's a quick way to do that. I'm like, that's cool, because I got a Viking, like an outline of it's just a silhouette of a Viking head, not from the football team, but just of like a cartoon Viking, the outline of it, and I could just do that. So that'd be kind of cool. So anyway, yeah, you just knock it through. They were doing like a dinosaur, whatever you have that's a cookie cutter. It's metal, and you just ding, 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 ding all the way in. So the one other thing I was going to say while we're still with these movies, and what got me to the book thing, was that during that movie, Phantasm, on his nightstand, you see a paperback book, and it's laying sideways. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to have to take a picture of that to try to figure out what it is. And you think it's going to be consequential. You're just like, whatever. It's going to be a book, and it's somebody I've never heard of, but maybe I'll check out the book, because there's a reason this book is there. And then there's a reason why it's sitting there in a way that you would recognize the book if you saw it, right? So I take a picture of it. Well, it's not the book that's throwing me. It's the author of the book. And I'm going to be eager to talk with Stuart about it, because I want to know if he knows about this. So have you looked into a movie where you're watching a movie and you're like, hey, that's that thing that I like or I know about? Wow, it's in this movie. Well, that's the way this was. I know of this. I think I've heard of the title of the book. My Name is Legion. So that's the book. The author is Roger Zalansky. And what else did Roger Zalansky write? Damnation Alley. So if you've ever seen that movie, there's the book, Roger Zalansky, right there. And it says winner of the Hugo and Nebula Awards. So I did finally read this book. This is one of those that has haunted me since high school, because I bought it way back then. And because it was made into the movie that had Jan Michael Vincent, George Papard, and others in it. And so great fun. Well, here, look, there you go. There's a scene from the movie right there. And there you go. Oh, wait, it's got this kid in it. You know who that is? That's Rorschach in The Watchmen. That's pretty fun. Huh. Interesting. I forgot he was in there. So anyway, yeah, futuristic movie. And this book has some of the things that were in the movie, but the movie didn't even have the main antagonist from the book in it. So what are we saying? I know Roger Zalansky. Oh, Zalandry. I know Roger Zalandry. I have the Guns of Avalon. Oh, so you do know this one, Zalansky. So you have that one. So My Name is Legion is this book that's sitting on the nightstand. So I thought that was kind of cool. The Halloween Tree is a good book and cartoon movie. Interesting. Interesting. All right, The Halloween Tree. Huh. All right, I'll have to check that out. And Guns of Avalon. I did see that book on Amazon. The one I want to get is the one though is My Name is Legion. So I do want to get that. God, I keep seeing these images of Suck over here on my other screen, and I'm like, I gotta watch that. So then I was looking at books that were horror that I had that were made into movies. So here's one. This one is Carl Alexander wrote the movie Time After Time. If you've never seen that movie, there's the artwork from the movie, where it is Malcolm McDowell plays H.G. Wells, and then why can't I say his name? It's right here. David Warner. All right. David Warner plays Jack the Ripper. Okay. And then this is what is it? Steenburgen plays the love interest in it. And it's about here's the premise is that H.G. Wells finds out that one of his good friends, the doctor, is Jack the Ripper. And he has developed a time machine. Jack the Ripper finds out how to get to it. His buddy figures out how to get to it and how to use it, and takes off and goes into the future, which is at the time it was now. So it was, I think, which was 1979 or 1980. And goes forward and starts realizing that Jack the Ripper starts thinking, I'm in my time now. This is where I belong, because there's murder is rampant and blah, blah, blah. And he's in New York. Right. So great. My lovely wife bought that movie for me on Blu-ray years ago. So I need to watch that again too. Saw Time After, very unique. It is very unique and a lot of fun. It's really, really a good film. That, of course, right there with those is this paperback, The Amityville Horror, A True Story by Jay Anson. I got to remember, did Jay Anson have some issues after writing this book? I guess he did both books, right? No, John G. Jones did the second one. So here's the second book then, Amityville Horror 2. So yeah, interesting books. Here's one. Do yourself a favor, have some fun, and listen to the album. And I don't know if it's on Spotify. I'm not sure that it is. I'm going to look at Bob Welch. If not, it's probably on YouTube. I can check there too, and we'll find out, because it doesn't look like it's there, which is very strange. I don't ever quite understand all of that, right? So let me look though, and maybe that song is included on a compilation or something. It is not. I don't see it. So in 1977, he put out French Kiss, which had 2 hit songs on it. Sentimental Lady, which he recorded with Fleetwood Mac, but also it has Ebony Eyes, which is a huge hit. Another huge hit for him too. But other great songs on this album are Easy to Fall, Hot Love, Cold World, Lose My Heart, Outskirts is a really cool, sexy kind of tune. Caroline has that little sexy Bob Welch kind of thing too, where it's a kind of Lose Your Heart has different versions on this album. It's kind of an interesting thing. Some of them are very short. Like there's one that's a reprise. The original one that's on here is short. It's like a minute and something. And then at the end of the album, there's a 3-minute 4-second version. So check that out though. It's good stuff. But anyway, here's another one live. I don't think it's on there. But you also remember when he was with Fleetwood Mac, he had this song with them called Hypnotized, which talked about all kinds of supernatural stuff, like just different things that happened. You listen to the song, it's fantastic. And but on the album 3 Hearts, which came out in 1979, his follow-up, which had Precious Love as the big hit, he had a song called The Ghost of Flight 401. This is a book here. See it? John G. Fuller. Ghost of Flight 401. It's a hard read because he just talks. It's tough because the reporter that's talking. So I was working on this project at the time. If you remember, I was working on this project at the time. So I was working on this project at the time, and I was doing this. So it takes a while to get to this shit. I'm like, dude, knock it off and just get to the reporting about the Ghost of Flight 401. All right. And this is based on a true story. So you'll love that song. I'm sure it's out there. I'll tell you, I'll do us the favor and I'll look it up real quick because you need to hear it. But yeah, Ghost of Flight 401. It was a true story based on a crash on an Eastern airline, and then the crew would show up as ghosts, looking real, show up as ghosts on another flight. And you're like, ooh, that's scary. You're like, no, 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 no. They were showing up on these flights to tell them that there's a problem with the plane. So they would warn them so that they wouldn't have the same fate as them. So how cool is that? That's another thing I really like about it. Bob Welch. Let's take a look at that. Whoop, dang it. My fat fingers. Welch. Let's put in 3 hearts. And then I can put the, if it comes up, 3 hearts. There it is. Okay. 10 videos. Let's grab that link and I will put it right in here for all of you. Boop, boop. Yes, Drew, Jack the Ripper just blends in. He's just another one, right? So that was it was an interesting take on all that. Kind of wild. What was this you said? Oh, okay, good. Ray Bradbury. I did not know that. Alrighty, all right. Here's another one. This is, if you have Disney, here's another one of these books that's that I bought decades ago by Ian Cameron. It's The Island at the Top of the World. If you haven't watched that show and you have Disney, watch it. It's out there and it's still fun. I think it holds up, and it also shows the beauty of their backdrop painting. It was just amazing. So, hey Kurt, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for popping in. I'm glad you're here. Hey, and if everybody can tell, maybe tomorrow, if you can tell 2 people to subscribe, do it. You got 2 friends, just let them know. Tell them to pop in, tell them to subscribe. It'd be great. Here's another one that's from my high school years that when I was just buying some books that looked really cool to me. Rataif at Large, and by Keith Laumer. Looking forward to checking this one out. In all the galaxy, only one diplomat dared defy the implacable, what is it? What is that? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, he stood up to people. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. Here's another one. There you go. Another adaptation book, novel by Alan Dean Foster, and that is Alien. I've never read that. Seen the movie a million times. Own the movie. And then Thorn. That's another kind of a suspense horror thing, I guess. Ultimate horror, ultimate temptation. So there you go. And then here's a movie. If you've never seen this movie, there you go. The Fun House. That's another one that I would pull out and watch. It's one of those teen films. I read this book before I ever saw the movie. It's kind of about a carnival barker guy, a carny guy. He runs a carnival, and he's got this. It's kind of like, is evil inherent? Is kind of what it is, but the child that comes out of this terrible relationship is disfigured and strange, and then he feeds on people, and the father just feeds him because he's afraid of him. But this was written by Owen West, right? So I didn't know anything about Owen West, and I found The Mask, which is written by Owen West. And then come to find out that was the pen name, just like Richard Bachman is Stephen King's alter ego. Then Owen West, those books both would be later reprinted with Dean Koontz, because that's who that was. That was his pen name before he started doing the Dean Koontz thing. So check out those books and check out the movie. This is a horror kind of suspense. Interesting. When even horror has something to hide. Oh my God. So yeah, and the Funhouse. So this was written from the screenplay. So it's an adaptation of the screenplay. So there you go. there's some horror for you. Let's check this thing out now. I gotta fill that up. All right, so what else do we have here? I know what this is. So there was a review of this movie just done recently because they have the brand new one out. But I didn't own this, and I decided to find a cheap copy of Joker. I saw a review of the new one. It wasn't a great review. It wasn't a horrid review. It's just there's an aspect in the movie that I'll watch it eventually because the review said everything good except blah. So if you're interested in seeing it because you liked this one, great. If you'd never thought about seeing it, or if you've never seen this, check it out. It's good. That's all I can say. It's good. So I found an inexpensive copy of it on Blu-ray to pick it up and have it in the collection because it's a good film. It got an Oscar. So Ernest Scared Stupid is legit scary too. You know, I heard that last Star Wars movie was scary as shit too. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what's in the big box, shall we? And then we'll get wrapped up here. All right. Oh, yeah, look at this. So I was getting ready to maybe do some more disc golf. And I had a bag that wasn't a disc bag. And my brother-in-law has a disc bag. And he bought another one for guests. So I had the one that he had for guests. But then he's like, you know what? I should get a different one. And I said, okay. So then I started thinking, I need a bag that's not a backpack. You know, something that's more flat. And so I was looking at some of the disc golf bags they had out there on Amazon. And I was okay with them. But then I remembered the bag that I used for my dog. And it's kind of it's really what it is like a gun bag. And so I started looking at those. And I think I found one. So I got it in kind of a khaki green and kind of a military green. And so this ought to be nice for my discs. You put them in there, be nice and flat. It's got a place for the water bottle on the side, nice and big and adjustable. And then it's got a place for my towel, and I can just put all my discs in there. So I'll fill it up and I'll show it to you later. And we'll go from there. And I think, and then I also bought some vinyl. This can be cut and used on clothing. So it's an iron-on vinyl. So I thought, oh, well, there's plenty of, and there's all the different colors they have. They have all kinds of these patterns too. Kind of interesting. But it was on sale. It was $6.99 on Amazon. So I thought, well, I'll get me a roll of white. I think it's white. And then I'll, just kind of cut some designs, just random designs, and then iron on that on some shirts and stuff. So there you go. And there you have it. Again, thoughts going out to my buddy Rick. I'm looking forward to, I'm still going to play this bass in December. So yes, Drew, to answer your question from last week, I will be playing it on stage. I don't know if I'll be playing it all night. We'll see how it goes and everything. So, but I'll get new batteries in it for the lights and stuff like that. So, so that's pretty cool. I think somebody was asking me about a fretless bass last week too. I do have a fretless bass. That's the bass over here that we're going to be reviewing because it's got signatures on it. So I'll be doing a show and going through that with some better pictures. I'll put some pictures up. You can see me holding it, but it's better to see the signatures when I take pictures of them and stuff. So yeah. So also keep thoughts out for all those people out on the East Coast again, down in Florida. They're ready to get nailed through the Gulf again. And that should be happening. It should be coming through tonight. So we'll get a glimpse part way through the night and in the morning as to how that all is going to pan out for them down there. My family usually goes down there to that area, and they're not this year. They're going to go elsewhere. But I'm thankful at the moment that they weren't there and this happened. So thank goodness for that. Thank God. But so speaking of thanking God, I thank him for Rick and for his wife, and thoughts and prayers going to her, and for continued success for moving forward, and for all that is going on around her at the moment, and hopes that I can help with some of the things that she's doing to move forward. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date on that, and we'll have some pictures and some footage of me playing this bass. So maybe I'll hook her up and play her on the show. All right, guys, that is it for today, and I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. Be sure, like I say, get out there tomorrow or tonight, whenever you want to do it. Wow, really? Now it drops me out. That's so weird. I don't know why it does that. It's the signals. I don't know if it's whatever going on, but yeah, just I hope you have a great evening. We'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock on Go Game Go, so tune back in there. And in the meantime, just be good. Remember, when you step out of your house every day, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So act accordingly, right? And then also, wait, who says what? Everyone be safe tonight and tomorrow, and rest well, Rick. You guys take it easy.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?